There are people with whom reality seems to bend, as if life itself plays by their rules. Career, love, money, everything appears by itself. You look and think, probably, they were just lucky. They have connections. They are special. But the truth is completely different. This is not luck. This is not a privilege. This is not an inheritance. They are connected to the second frequency, to the second dimension, where most people don't even think they will look. And you know what? This measurement is available to everyone. The only question is which station you turned on. Why does your life seem difficult? If now everything seems difficult. If you run, you try, but the result slips away. If it seems that life puts sticks in the wheels every day, this does not mean that you are lazy. This does not mean that you are unworthy. This does not mean that something is broken in you. The reason is simpler. You are simply tuned into a reality that is no longer yours. You broadcast on the old wave, and life responds with an echo that it is time to let go of. Vibration is more important than effort. Imagine a radio. You want to hear jazz, but you turn the knob on the rock station. What will you hear? That's right, rock. No matter how many times you ask for jazz, no matter how much you pray, they will repeat affirmations or pretend that everything is fine. If the frequency is tuned to chaos, you will get chaos. This is the main secret. Life does not respond to words. She responds to vibration. Why demonstrations do not work. You can rewrite 10 notebooks with goals. You can hang hundreds of pictures on the walls. You can repeat mantras from time to time. But if a second signal sounds inside, I'm afraid. I'm not sure. I don't believe that this is possible. This is exactly what the field will hear. In return, it will give more fears. More doubtful. There are more situations where faith crumbles. Not because you are punished. And because the universe always answers honestly. It only reflects what you actually emit. Change of station. And this is where the most interesting begins. Because just like on the radio, you can change the wave. Not tomorrow. Not in an hour. Not after a dozen new books. And right now. Yes, it sounds too simple. But it's true. Life is always waiting for your new signal. Your new choice. With your consent, stop clinging to the old frequency. A new look at yourself. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not born from the past. You are not a broken version that needs to be fixed. You are a transmitter. And your signal decides what will appear on the air of your life. Everything you're looking for. Confidence. Freedom. Love. Abundant. It already sounds on the second frequency. It exists. She is real. It's just that you haven't tuned in yet. Challenge. So the main question is not, will I ever get lucky? And not even in the matter of, what else can I do? Question in another. Are you ready to change the station? Are you ready to stop being an echo of the past? Are you ready to start sounding in unison with the future that is already calling you? Because this is what distinguishes those very people who get it all right. They are not special. They simply broadcast on the second wave. Think of your life like a radio dial. You want to hear jazz, but you're tuned to static. You twist the knob, but the wrong station keeps blasting back. That's how most people live. Not because they're broken, not because they're lazy, but because they're locked on the wrong frequency. Why life feels heavy. When life feels like endless resistance. When every step feels like a push uphill. It's not punishment. It's misalignment. It's your field broadcasting a signal that doesn't match who you've become. You may be chasing abundance, but your frequency is still coded in scarcity. You may be asking for love, but your field is still humming with fear. The universe doesn't argue with you. It simply mirrors you. It echoes back your dominant vibration. Words versus energy. This is why affirmations sometimes feel hollow. You can repeat, I am wealthy, I am loved, I am powerful. But if underneath you whisper, I'm afraid, I'm not enough, I don't trust. That's the frequency the field obeys. It doesn't care about your words. It doesn't care about your vision board. It doesn't care about your effort. It cares about your broadcast. Always. The invisible conflict. Here's the conflict most people live inside. They want one reality, but they vibrate as another. They ask for clarity, but radiate confusion. They long for peace, but broadcast chaos. And then they call it bad luck. They call it failure. They call it destiny. But it's none of those. It's simply static. The moment of choice. Here's the liberating truth. You don't have to keep playing static. You don't have to wait for the right moment, or the right person, or the right miracle. You can change the station now. Because reality isn't fixed. It's elastic. It bends toward coherence. It bends toward clear signals. The cost of staying stuck. Every day you stay tuned to the wrong frequency. You reinforce the old world. You teach your brain to see more of the same. You train your nervous system to feel safe and struggle. That's why loops repeat. That's why the same bills keep showing up. That's why the same patterns in love keep circling back. Not because life hates you, because your field has been trained to echo what no longer belongs to you. The first step. So what's the way out? Awareness. The moment you notice, I'm not on the right station, you've already cracked the loop. Awareness breaks the spell. It says, this is not who I am anymore. I'm ready to shift. That's all it takes to begin. Imagine this. Picture two radios side by side. One blares distortion. The other plays a perfect melody. You are both radios. The distorted you is not wrong. It's just outdated. The tuned in you already exists and is waiting for you to choose. Which one are you feeding energy to? Which one are you letting broadcast your future? The transition. Episode 1 showed you the secret. Reality bends for frequency. Episode 2 reveals the trap. Most people are stuck because their energy and their desires are at war. But the moment you see the war, you can end it. You can unify your broadcast. You can stop asking for one life while radiating another. What's next? In the next episode, we'll go deeper. We'll uncover how the top 1%, not just in wealth, but in alignment, crack the paradox of pursuit. Why they stopped chasing, and why everything began chasing them. Because once you see their code, you'll never look at success the same way again. Look closely at the people who move differently. The ones who never seem to run out of opportunities. The ones who attract love, wealth, and influence without chasing. They're not burning out. They're not grinding until they collapse. They're not running on empty. They've cracked a paradox most of the world is still trapped inside. The trap of chasing. Here's the paradox. The harder you chase something, the louder you declare, it's not here yet. The more you reach for success, the more you prove to yourself it's far away. The more you grasp for love, the more you vibrate with loneliness. And in a quantum universe where everything is connected, believing in separation is the fastest way to create more of it. The hidden code of the 1%. The energetically elite have stopped chasing, not because they gave up, but because they realized chasing is a declaration of lack. They don't beg the future to notice them. They live as if the future has already arrived. This isn't wishful thinking. It's not pretending. It's embodiment. They don't fake the feeling. They become the feeling. Embodiment versus performance. You've heard the phrase, act as if. But most people turn it into performance. They fake confidence. They plaster over doubt. They rehearse positivity while broadcasting fear. The 1% don't act. They integrate. They embody the energy all day long. Not perfectly, but consistently. And that consistency collapses probability into form. It collapses timelines. It makes this someday version of life show up today. The two walkers. Picture this. Two people enter the same room. One walks in with nervous energy, eyes darting, hoping to be liked, scanning for rejection. The other walks in with quiet certainty. Not arrogance, not ego, just presence. Which one feels magnetic? Which one gets chosen without trying? Which one shifts the atmosphere without saying a word? That's frequency. That's coherence. That's creation. Why the field responds. The quantum field doesn't answer what you say. It answers what you are. You can script desires every morning. But if you carry yourself as if you're still begging for proof, the field hears the begging. When you move as if the outcome is inevitable, the field hears inevitability. It's not magic. It's alignment. The power of consistency. This is the hidden code. The 1% don't switch signals 20 times a day. They don't dip into clarity for 5 minutes, then collapse into doubt for hours. They stabilize their broadcast. They generate coherence. And coherence creates order. While most people scatter their energy, the 1% consolidate it, and the field responds. From chase to creation. Here's the shift. You stop chasing. You start emanating. You stop proving. You start embodying. You stop performing. You start being. That's the paradox resolved. The moment you stop needing it, you become it. And reality bends to that. What's next? In the next episode, we'll break down the science behind it. Not just quantum philosophy, but the neuroscience of perception. We'll reveal the hidden filter in your brain, the reticular activating system, the gatekeeper that decides what you notice, what you ignore, and ultimately, which timeline you lock into. And once you learn to reprogram it, you'll realize alignment isn't just spiritual. It's biological. It's practical. It's inevitable. Reality isn't just out there. It's filtered. It's chosen. It's sculpted by your own brain. And the switchboard that does it? It's called the Reticular Activating System, the RAS. The invisible filter. Every second, millions of bits of information flood your senses. The RAS decides, in milliseconds, what's important, what you'll notice, what you'll ignore. That's why you buy a new car and suddenly see that car everywhere. That's why when you feel insecure, you think everyone is judging you. The truth? Nothing changed outside. Your RAS just got new instructions. The instructions. And here's the key. Your RAS doesn't obey truth. It obeys repetition. It obeys emotion. It obeys focus. Whatever you rehearse every day, consciously or unconsciously, becomes what your RAS highlights. If you focus on fear, you'll see more reasons to be afraid. If you focus on lack, you'll notice bills, not opportunities. If you focus on betrayal, you'll catch every sign of disloyalty. Not because life is cruel, because your brain is filtering for the signal you trained it to. Quantum meets neuroscience. This is where the quantum field and your biology intersect. The quantum field holds infinite possibilities. Every timeline exists. Every outcome already vibrates somewhere. Your RAS is the selector. It tunes your perception to match your dominant frequency. It collapses the infinite into the visible. That's why two people can live in the same city, the same economy, the same circumstances, but one sees opportunity and the other sees hopelessness. Same world, different filter. Why you stay stuck? If you're waiting for life to change before you change your focus, you'll wait forever. Because the RAS doesn't ask what's real. It asks, what have you been rehearsing? If you rehearse doubt, it shows you proof of doubt. If you rehearse clarity, it shows you proof of clarity. Your RAS doesn't judge. It just delivers. The practice. So how do you reprogram it? Start simple. Every morning before your feet touch the ground, speak directly to your brain. Today, I choose to notice what's already working. I give my perception permission to highlight flow, not friction. I align with the version of me who already lives my desired reality. Say it. Feel it. Repeat it. Because repetition trains the filter. Emotion prioritizes it. Focus locks it in. The shift. Look around. Your current life is evidence of what your RAS believed yesterday. Change today's focus, and tomorrow's perception changes with it. It's not instant magic. It's exponential. One choice compounds into new perception. New perception compounds into new reality. That's not theory. That's neurobiology meeting quantum law. What's next? You've seen how frequency shapes life. You've seen how identity codes the field. Now you know how your brain filters it all into form. In the next episode, we take the final step. We'll reveal the portal of love, not as romance, but as the most coherent frequency. We'll walk through a 21-day ritual that rewires your field into alignment. And once you practice it, you'll never confuse chasing with creating again. If there's one frequency that changes everything, it's not effort. It's not discipline. It's not even focus. It's love. Not the movie kind. Not the conditional kind. But the raw, coherent, energetic state of love. Why love matters. Your heart emits an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than your brain. That's not poetry. That's physics. When your heart is coherent, calm, elevated, aligned, your entire energy field becomes ordered. The quantum field recognizes that order. It echoes it. When you radiate fear, the field mirrors chaos. When you radiate love, the field mirrors flow. Love isn't a reward for when life improves. Love is the vibration that makes life improve. The forgotten state. You felt it before. Moments in nature. Moments of laughter. Moments of silence when everything made sense for no reason. Those weren't accidents. They were glimpses of your true baseline, the state you were designed to live in. But you forgot. You rehearsed stress. You rehearsed lack. You rehearsed fear. Now it's time to rehearse love again. The 21-day ritual. So how do you make this shift permanent? Not by waiting, by practicing. For the next 21 days, commit to this. Days 1 to 7, awareness. Track your autopilot. Notice old thought loops. Catch yourself rehearsing fear. And gently, without judgment, redirect. Days 8 to 14, stabilization. Anchor into coherence. Place your hand on your heart each morning. Breathe slowly. Ask, What would the version of me who is already free feel right now? And then feel it. Days 15 to 21, embodiment. Live as that version. Walk slower. Speak with clarity. Say no to what drains you. Say yes to what aligns. Move as if the future has already landed. Resistance is feedback. Some days it will feel easy. Other days, resistance will roar back. That's not failure. That's friction. It means the old frequency is dissolving. Keep going. Rehearse the new signal until it becomes the most natural thing in the world. The shift in action. Do this for 21 days and watch. Conversations change. People respond differently. Opportunities appear that were always nearby but hidden by your old filter. You won't just feel different. Your world will look different. Not because reality suddenly transformed, because your frequency finally aligned. The final truth. You don't manifest from love. Love is the manifestation. Everything else, wealth, clarity, connection, arranges itself around that field. When you stop outsourcing love, when you choose to generate it regardless of conditions, you become the one thing the quantum field cannot ignore. A coherent emitter. The call. So here's your choice. You can keep waiting for life to give you a reason to feel whole. Or you can broadcast wholeness now. Because once you lock into the frequency of love, the chase ends. The struggle ends. The waiting ends. You stop asking, when will it come? And you start realizing, it's already here. Closing. You are not broken. You were never behind. You've simply been tuned to the wrong station. Now you know how to change it. Now you know how to live from the code of the 1%. Frequency. Coherence. Love. The future isn't something you run toward. It's something you tune into. And the moment you choose that station, your entire reality bends to meet you.